Good morning students and all my dear friends. Welcome to your on YouTube channel Voice of Students और जीडी क्लासेस के इसी क्रम में आज अपना टॉपिक है एजुकेशन सिस्टम इन इंडिया। टॉपिक स्टार्ट करने से पहले जैसा कि मैंने कहा था स्टूडेंट्स की जीडी की डेट बहुत पास में है, इसीलिए कोशिश की जा रही है कि एक दिन में 2 टॉपिक्स पर आपको नॉलेज मैटर व्यूज़ मिल सके, इसीलिए कोशिश की जा रही है। जैसे कि आज 2 वीडियोज़ अपलोड किए जा चुके हैं। वेल, वी स्टार्ट द टॉपिक एजुकेशन इन इंडिया with a quote of John Dewey. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. It proves the importance of education. Well, we can talk about the education, the process of receiving or giving systematic instructions, especially at a school or university, a course of education. If we talk about the education in India, education is a source that makes a country develop from developing. At the time of freedom, 85% citizens were illiterate. But if we talk about the present, country has brought big change in this field. About 75% people of the India are literate today, and the percentage of literacy is growing day by day. With the high efforts of governments, we are getting improvement in this field. RTE Act increased the ratio of children education as according to this act, up to 14-year-old students will get compulsory education and without any fees in government schools. To make their health better, midday meal scheme playing good role to increase the percentage of literacy. Even students are getting milk as the government started the plan to provide the milk thrice in a week. So we can say with the education students are getting improvement in their health as government is trying midday meal and milk plan for the students in government schools. If we talk about some other aspects, Indian education system, or you can say the drawbacks or the minus point in our education system, but before that we can talk about the positive parts of our education system. As Indian education system emphasizes competitive spirit, competition, and teaches students to get their full potential. Indian schools teach basic knowledge in all subjects. An annual system in schools are helping slow learners. These days, a lot of positive changes are happening in the education system of India. It emphasizes on a practical knowledge and it increased the skillful workers for the nation. But we have some positivity, but if we talk about the second part, as every coin has two aspect, we have so many drawbacks in our education system. So still we have not brought a healthy education system for the nation that can real that can create creativity and thinking capacity, practical knowledge. So all these drawbacks we can talk about. It's first of all the rote learning. It emphasizes on memorizing the fact rather than learning the concept thoroughly. As students role as students wrote up the topic rather than understanding it. That is not good for us if a student just learn, memorize, but he doesn't know how to do it. As if we talk about Albert Einstein well said, education is not the learning of fact, but also the training of the mind to think. So we can think that how we are doing in this field, how are students behaving or in our classrooms, how they are learning, are they able to implement what they learn in their classrooms. Students have no freedom to think creatively and to question the content the textbook. Taking marks as assessment of students' talent when marks can be obtained by memorizing the pre-written answer from the textbook. Students are not being taught by they are learning and particular subjects and topics and how they can use in their daily routine life. Textbook doesn't mention how the topics are relevant in their practical life. There is one chief minus point is Lack of infrastructure that has been already a reason behind many more problems in India, as well as it is a barrier for our education. Most of the most of the syllabus in theoretical form. There is no practical knowledge due to lack of infrastructure. So students cannot get practical knowledge and it puts them back in modern competition which demands practical knowledge and the pressurizing students for marks and grades. Due to that, students commit suicide sometimes or they feel mental pressure and stress. Students are learning the subjects just to reach to the next level and sometimes the only target to complete the parents' expectations. Recently, we saw some incidents of suicide in Kota where students committed suicide just because of the high marks or to get the marks on high level, but it could not be done and they did or took a wrong step like committing suicide. We must work for that. We should try to release the stress and we should go for some motivation or fresh education that can make the mind light, that can reduce the pressure from students' mind. Mostly at the time of exam, students compromise with so many things. They forget to take on time, they don't take food on time, they just don't take proper sleeping, they don't just use proper sleeping hours and it creates physical problem, mental problem for our students. So our education system make their mind light, should reduce the pressure from students' brain, especially directions must be given at the time of exam. If we talk about the government's effort or if we talk about Indian government's effort about the education, Indian government spent only 3% of its GDP on education in 2018 to 19. As if we talk about the other countries, the investment on the education sector, USA spent 5.4% of its GDP, Brazil spends 5.7% of its GDP. But if we talk about India, we need to also increase and to come nearby 5 to 6% of its GDP on education. Indian government needs to invest heavily on infrastructure, teachers and practical knowledge so the students can get the practical knowledge and they can become skillful worker of the future and can get positive changes in our education. Teachers should increase logical thinking and creativity in students. As a well said quote, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve and I learn by the Benjamin Franklin. Exactly, we talk about the if teachers try to involve something in students with the practical knowledge that will work for long time, that will be learnt by body, by brain, and it can be implemented in practical life so students can use what they learn in classroom. The exam should be in a way that students understanding of all the subjects, students can get the knowledge about all the subject, it can be assessed properly. Well, if we talk about one more drawback of our education system, that reservation in education can be accepted, but in jobs like teachers, it cannot be accepted. Reservation must be removed or it needs serious amendment. If we find the teachers, those who are got a job on the basis of reservation in our education field cannot provide best brains, best students and intelligence. So we need to work upon in this field. We need to do some serious amendment in our reservation system, especially in education sector. So the only skillful, deserved teachers will be there in our schools. Especially if we talk about the government school, many of teachers they are quite eligible and they are able, but still they don't work. And some those who have become a teacher on the basis of reservation with the help of reservation quota, they are not quite capable to provide proper education in classrooms. And a teacher, a single teacher who works in school faces thousands of students in his career, then we can really realize how dangerous this situation for our education system. When thousands of teachers are working on the basis of reservation, then billions of students' future can be spoiled by these kind of undeserved teachers, unprofessional teachers. There is one more drawback in our education system is lack of job oriented courses. If we talk about the India, there is lack of vocational education system. The vocational education demands basically of practical courses through which can gain skill and experience directly linked to career in future. It helps a student to be skilled and turn offers better employment opportunities. So the government must pay attention towards it. We can start job oriented courses. Through that, students can also choose a course according to their own inner skill and interest. They will have options according to their passion and hobbies, and that time students can do it. He will be able to do many kind of works according to his own choice. It will also decrease the load and stress of unemployment from Indian government. There is there are some aspects that should be worked upon. One of them is physical education. It should be part of our education as we are missing physical fitness, physical health, and education in our education system, especially in a pandemic like Corona that has made us learn that fitness and immunity power is quite important. So there should be some physical education in schools. There should be sports period regularly for the students so they can get a fresh body, a fresh mind, and active brain, as health is wealth. If we talk about, there is one more aspect is moral education. Earlier it was very important part of our education, but in a modern time we are missing it as the syllabus, the other books are quite important, and we have decreased the level of morality in our education. So with the help of moral education, we can make brilliant, noble mind and goodness in characters. Before making an intelligent brain, we need to make a positive, a good one, and noble person for the society, the one who can work for the welfare of the nation. As intelligence can be misguided, but the goodness and the nobility cannot be. So we need to provide proper moral education to the kids so they can become positive pillar for the nation in the future. So with these all kind of aspect, I would like to finish my topic with a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. A well said quote: by education I mean all around drawing of the best in child and a man in body, mind and spirits. Here Mahatma Gandhi puts the matter, and he wants to tell that the education should be the way to not only to provide knowledge but also healthy body and mind. That we can only then only the we can generate produce good students and best brains, noble brains, and healthy and fit students. With that I would like to finish my topic. Have a nice time. मिलते हैं कल किसी और टॉपिक के साथ. तब तक के लिए जय हिंद, जय भारत.